Namaste. Hi, my name is Jemma, and this morning we're going to do a yin class. So for this practice, you're going to need 2 blocks. If you don't have a block, maybe a hardback book could be a good option. You're going to need a blanket and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, maybe a cushion or a pillow. Before we get started, just a few little precautions. Make sure that you've got a nice, warm, well-ventilated space to practice in. With yin, we are very sedentary, so you might find that you get a little bit cool. So just make sure you've got everything that you need, and ideally a nice dark space for yin. Yin is a great practice for our bodies, a very meditative practice. So let's get started. The first practice, the first posture, is using the bolster. So we're going to find ourselves situated in the middle of our mat. Take the legs out long. You might like to give them a shake. Of course, this yin practice could be added onto the end of a hatha practice, onto the end of a vinyasa practice, or just at any time of the day, whenever you feel like you need a little bit more opening. Now, we'll bring that bolster to the back of the legs there, back of the buttocks, nice and close, and have the legs long and outstretched. You might want to pop the blanket on top of the legs. It's nice to have a little weight here. Whenever you're ready, taking your time, you're just going to place your hands next to the bolster and give yourself permission to relax. So we're coming down onto the elbows, checking in, how's that bolster feeling? And we're taking our time to lengthen out the spine, bringing the back onto that bolster, perhaps taking the hands to the side, palms facing upwards. Let's close the eyes here and just let the back sink into that bolster. Some of us might like to join the soles of the feet together, making a diamond shape with the legs, and just letting the knees be very heavy here. Letting the knees just release with gravity. And while we're here, we might also join the index finger to meet the thumb, making a mudra. Mudra, of course, is a Sanskrit word for seal, the sealing of these 2 channels in the body. So like you're sealing a circuit there, redirecting that channel back inwards. And we can close the eyes softly and mentally massage the jaw. So just checking now, checking that the jaw is released, the teeth aren't clenched. You might feel the shoulders becoming very heavy, and mentally massaging the back of the head, back of the neck, down through the center of the shoulder blades. You might visualize the vertebrae and just feel the heaviness of the body. Perhaps you can note the breath. You might feel the inhalation just coming in through the nostril passageways, the expansion of the chest and the belly, the contraction on the exhalation. Mentally massaging down through the hips, through the back of the legs, all the way down to the soles of the feet. And letting gravity just do the work here for you. If yang is that active side, that active, engaged, purposeful side of yoga, that vinyasa, then yin is that process of letting go, releasing and accepting. You might like to visualize the whole form of the body just melting. You can open the ears to the sound of the mantras playing. And just use the mantras to mentally massage the body. In a vinyasa or a hatha or a more yang approach to our physical yoga, we change postures frequently. And here in yin, we hold postures for a few minutes. So really allowing our awareness to travel in past the surface level of the body and to the inner landscape. So you might start to feel the landscape of your body softening, releasing, letting go, letting go, letting go. If your legs are in that diamond shape, you might like to very slowly, so millimeter by millimeter, start to bring the knees together. From here, take your time and extend the legs out towards the end of your mat. And release the ankles, letting the toes fall out to the edges. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. Feeling the spine nice and released. And just letting the shoulders fully descend there. You might feel the collarbones starting to open and lift. Nice and relaxed through the front of the throat. And of course, no tension in the jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, or the forehead. You might keep your eyes closed as you start to pick up your chin. So as you inhale, lifting the chin up, and we can wedge our elbows into the side of the body and press up one arm at a time, coming to an L shape. And when you've found that L shape, just swing your bolster all the way over and in front and place it on top of your legs. From here, maybe it's time for a blanket. Maybe you want to use your blanket like a shawl. So the blanket is great for warmth, but it's also great for a nice weight on the body as well. And maybe you might need a block for this next one, which could go at any height. So we're going to come forward into a forward fold. So let's start with the block at this height, but you may adjust. Maybe this height will serve you best. Anyway, forehead needs to have something to rest on. So keep the toes flexed, press them up towards the head of your bolster, and when you're ready, just coming forward, bringing the forehead to meet the block. Then you can release the back of the legs, release the ankles. Your hands could be facing upwards, palms upwards. You could take that mudra again. You could even slide the index finger to the root of the thumb and just close that circle in a little bit more as you like. No tension in the jaw. Maybe some of us don't even need the block there. Maybe some of us want to swivel the block and have it very high. Maybe some of us find that we need to bring the block in closer. At any rate, just finding a connection of the forehead with the prop and remembering to keep the spine in line. So we're folding in on ourselves. So the chin and the nose in line with the throat. It's like a C shape is occurring in the spine. And once again, then we just continue that process of letting go. So systematically turning off the muscles in the body. Kneecaps might be clenched. So releasing the kneecaps, the thighs. Mentally traversing that landscape of the body. Maybe visualizing water being poured over the top of the head and just following that downward movement. So that deep release. And just allowing the yoga asana, so the yoga posture, to just do the work for you at the level of the body. And allowing the mantra to do the work for you at the level of the heart and mind. So mantra, working not only on the mind. We know that word mantra, man meaning mind and tra to place upon. So that's a Sanskrit word that you're very familiar with. So mantra, very good for the mind, good for meditation, but mantra also working at the deepest part of you. So at the level of the heart or the Jiva Atman. Jiva Atman, of course, another Sanskrit word, meaning spark, your spirit soul, physical body, the outer layer. Going a little deeper and we encounter that mind layer, that busy, turbulent, possibly very inconsistent level of yourself, the mind. And then of course the process of yoga takes us to the very depth of ourselves, level of the heart, Jiva Atman. And we know that word yoga means union, connection, coming together. Letting the shoulders be very heavy here. Back of the legs. Just released. As we continue through this posture, you might find that you want to come down a level, perhaps turning the block, the prop, down another level, or removing it altogether as you like. No big deal. Of course, every day the body will feel different. So just practicing at your level today. Really asking the body what it needs without judgment. Such a good space to come into. That place of non-judgment, just accepting, giving yourself permission to just accept the body with its limitations as it is, the mind with all its limitations, just as it is, and of course the heart, or the unlimited part of you. The spirit soul, deep within, and accepting the presence, the reality of that Jiva Atman, that imperishable, eternal spirit spark at the center of your heart, the center of your being. So easy, so good. One more minute here to really release, visualizing the body responding to the posture, softening, lengthening, letting go, letting go, letting go. When you're ready, start to reach forward. You might like to imagine you're reaching for a bowl of water on a shelf in front of you. Just find that invisible bowl in your hands and super duper slowly. So let's move millimeter by millimeter. Imagine you're doing Qigong or Tai Chi. We're going to lift that invisible bowl of water up towards the sky, up over the head, coming back to that L shape in the body. When that bowl is above the head, just let the shoulders sink away from the ears. And then start to part the hands and draw a circle, millimeter by millimeter, all the way around yourself. So reaching out to the sides of the room, opening through the shoulders. I'd like to visualize the body radiating, feeling really good. Have the chin level. Slowly, slowly, the slower the better. Let the hands come in towards your midline, in towards center. We'll take the block away. We'll swing our blanket around the front and we'll take our bolster around to the back again. Last time we had it lengthways, this time sideways. So we're going to leave some space between the butt and the bolster. Once again, the blanket can be there for warmth or for weight. We're coming into a version of fish pose here. So really good for the upper back. When you're ready, keeping a little engagement. So just bringing the toes towards the head. So flexing those toes in, lifting through the spine. So when you come down, the lower back is protected, and we'll open up the arms, and we're getting that bolster into the back of the shoulder blades. Perhaps some of us might like their block. Our blocks for a pillow, so you do you, whatever works. So some of us will love letting the head fully release. Some of us might find that too painful on the head and the neck, so we just use a prop. So you could use another cushion there, another pillow, or obviously a block is the best idea if you've got one. Check your symmetry. So we're always looking for symmetry. Of course, we know that word hatha. And remember that word hatha yoga. Hatha, we know yoga means union. Hatha means balance, so sun and moon there. And hatha really refers to all physical practices in yoga. Although in the modern day we have some different labelings for marketing purposes, so hatha and vinyasa and yin. We know yin as opposed to yang, and yin yang is not from the yoga system, it's coming from ancient China. However, it does also represent that idea of balance that we see in the word hatha, so sun and moon. So here yin is the moon aspect of our physical practice, that feminine aspect, that practice of surrender, of letting go. So yang, the sun, represented in the right side of the body, or the idea of masculine energy, is that intentional energy that we need. And yin, moon energy, that surrendering energy. So here, very good to add a surrendering, relaxing, restorative practice to your yoga routine. Some of us might find this posture very intense. Some of us might find it very easy. So just observing the body. Although yin is traditionally a very relaxing practice, as the posture builds up, or as the time spent in that posture increases, we might find that some deeper sensations are coming to the surface. We might find as the minutes pass that some sensations that are buried deeper in the body are allowed to come out through this practice. So just bearing witness to the physical sensations, of course. Understanding the context of your practice. The context of your practice, of course, is that the physical body is not eternal. Just like a vehicle or a house that you're living in for some time. Our yoga practice, our physical yoga practice, is very good for keeping that house or that vehicle in good working order. But this house, this body, is subject to change, death, decay, and understanding that, we practice yoga for the part of us that doesn't die, so that spirit soul that we talked about earlier, your Jivatman. Yoga is there on every level. So we have yoga for the body, we have yoga for the mind, we have yoga for the heart. And while we practice yoga for the body, we can practice yoga for the heart just by allowing the sound vibration of the mantra to enter in through the ears and to speak directly to your spirit soul, to the Jivatman. Deep relaxation.
And while you spend the next few minutes here, just mentally massaging the fingers, the hands, the back of the arms. Move your awareness down from the top of the head, scanning, releasing, dissolving the physical body. Visualizing the insides of the body like you've got X-ray vision, seeing the bones, the organs, and just mentally massaging and releasing. We're going to prepare to change positions in a moment. So you might like to bring the arms into the side first. So bringing the elbows in towards the sides of the rib cage. From here, the chin comes up first. Tucking the chin, rounding through the back of the neck and the head. When you're ready, you can just slide that bolster out from behind you and come to lie on the floor. So all the way down, nice long body. And just feel the back sinking into the mat. And just letting the effects of that last posture really dissolve. So feeling all the sensations. And we're going to come into our last posture for this practice this morning. Now there's two options here. You could use your block or your bolster. So from here, keeping the back of the head on the floor, just bending the knees and reach around for that bolster. And when you're ready, lift your butt up and slide the bolster in underneath you. So underneath your butt, underneath your hips, so that you're now sitting on that bolster. From here, you might want to pick up the feet, glue the ankles to touch. Let's open the legs to the ceiling, making that L shape from this direction. Spine and the center of the line of the legs, the midline, the Mudra of the body is nice and symmetrical. You can have the hands, palms facing upwards and the fingers gently curled. And just try and find the point of equilibrium here. So with the sides of the legs touching, see if you can find that central point of balance. So the feet are not too far towards the head, nor are they too far towards the end of the mat. No effort should be required here. So the legs are just perfectly stacked into their sockets, the hip sockets. And see if you can find that point of perfect balance where no effort is required at all to keep those legs upright. After some time in this posture, you're going to feel a release through the heart and the lungs. So you're going to feel an ease, a release come over the upper part of the body. You might find it feels better to breathe. Index fingers could lightly complete that circuit there, touching the thumbs. See if you can let go more through the legs and just rely on gravity, so that external force outside of the body, understanding the laws of nature, the laws of the physical universe. And in our physical practice of yoga, we leverage those physical laws of nature, understanding the influence of time and gravity on the body, and placing ourselves in postures, in positions, just to heal and restore and bring energy and health to the physical body. Absorbing the mantra through the ears, through the skin, through the mind, through the heart. And now, as slowly as you can, just start to bend the knees, bringing the feet down millimeter by millimeter. So the slower the better. At some point gravity may overtake, and bring the feet to the mat a little faster. Whenever the feet find the floor, slide the legs long now and create a crescent shape in the body. So a banana shape here, a bend in the body. Toes can fall out to the sides. The belly is open. And just bringing some length down the front channels, the front lines of the body, through the legs, the navel. At the same time, switching off any muscles in the lower back or the buttocks. So just full release. Just 1 or 2 more minutes here. Feeling the whole body from the top of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet. Just letting go. Awesome. When you're ready, start to slide the feet back in. So soles of the feet on the floor, bending those knees. On an inhalation, lift up the hips to remove that bolster, sliding it out from underneath you. Bring your tailbone back to the mat and give yourself a hug. Keep the head on the floor, but squeeze the knees in nice and tight. Maybe a little gentle rock from side to side could feel really good here. Similarly, you might like to place the hands on the kneecaps there and just draw some slow circles around the lower back. So massaging the lower back into the floor. Enjoy some nice deep breaths here, in through the nose and out from the mouth. Sighing the breath out, changing the direction of the rotation of the knees. So some nice big breaths in and out. So over accentuating the breath just for the last few rounds here. So keep massaging the back into the floor. And now we'll just finish with the easiest twists. So take the feet to the floor again, have the knees above the ankles, and then just walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. So half your foot is on the mat and the other half is on the floor next to you. So the carpet or the floorboards or the grass, wherever you're practicing. Half is on the mat, half is on the floor. From there, have the knees separated so the knees are not knocking in, rather the knees are just upright. Take the arms to the side like cactuses here, back of the hands on the floor there, dropping the knees to the left. We turn the head to the right, just pressing and sinking the knees to the floor, keeping that right shoulder blade on the ground. Breathing into the belly, maybe catching the index finger with the thumb. No tension in the jaw, forehead, whole face, whole head, soft, released. And we take an inhalation back to center and an exhalation over to the other side. Breathing into the belly. Sinking the shoulders, left shoulder blade, sinking the knees, the ankles down towards the ground. So that practice of relinquishing, letting go, surrendering, going with the flow, feeling the body to be so comfortable, creating a very nice home for you to live in. And on an inhalation, coming back to center, chin back to center. Let's give ourselves one more hug, squeezing the knees in. You could keep the eyes closed and just inhale to take the nose to the knees, making a tight little ball with the body. And last but not least, opening the body out for Shavasana now. So the long legs. Arms by your side, palms facing upwards, fingers gently curled. Let the toes fall to the sides of the room. And your last job is to find that center line, that Mudra, that midline down through the center of the body, feeling evenly distributed either side of that invisible line. Perhaps one last mental massage of the whole body. So feeling the weight of the body, letting go, letting go, letting go. And just dissolving into the floor. And letting the mantra do the work here for you. So sound, vibration. So simple. Everything is really, really good in your world, in your body, in your mind, and of course everything is really, really good in your heart. Enjoying your yoga practice.
Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
When you're ready, start to take in a slightly deeper breath, waking yourself up from within. Maybe moving the fingers and the toes gently. And just taking your time to roll over to the left-hand side of the body, curling up in a recovery posture. And then taking your time to finish up here, maybe finding your way to a seated position, keeping the eyes closed. Last but not least, rubbing the palms of the hands together to generate some warmth, some heat in the hands. We can take the heels of the palms into the eyes, pressing in. And just finishing our practice here with 3 big breaths in through your nose and out from the mouth. Namaste. Thank you so much for letting me teach you yoga.